Welcome to Suhail's Paramedical and Nursing Academy. In the previous lecture, I was explaining about biodiversity. I explained about what is biodiversity. Then I explained about the different factors of biodiversity in world and inside the India. Then I told about Amazonian rainforests. I told about biodiversity hotspots. I told about mega biodiversity countries. And then I told about why should we conserve biodiversity? Why should we conserve? Then I told why should we then I told about what are the different causes that cause biodiversity loss. What are the different causes that leads to the biodiversity loss? In the previous lecture I explained about that. Today I am going to explain about why should we conserve biodiversity. So there is a question now that is, why should we conserve biodiversity? Why should we conserve biodiversity? So why should we conserve biodiversity? This is a question. So there comes a question, why should we conserve biodiversity? Another question also comes, this question can be asked by this way, why should we conserve biodiversity? Or we can say, what are the benefits that we are getting, so we should protect biodiversity. So benefits, actually this is the benefits of biodiversity. See, in biodiversity there are two types of benefits. There are two types of benefits in the biodiversity. One are called as direct benefits, another are indirect benefits. Direct benefits that we are getting like food material, like firewood, like industrial material, like other constructive material. This all material that we are getting is direct. But there is some indirect also that the common people don't know what are the direct benefits from the biodiversity. But actually, do you know that everyone knows, most of the people knows the direct benefits of the biodiversity, but there are very less people who are educated about the indirect benefits of biodiversity. So but in books there are direct and indirect biodiversity written there, but sometimes in some books there is different way they have chosen to understood the concept. What I am going to say, in benefits of biodiversity, I want to divide it in the three parts. In the three ways we are getting the benefits of biodiversity. One is called as narrow utilitarian reasons. So there are three reasons because of which we are protecting the biodiversity. So first is narrow utilitarian reasons. Another are broad utilitarian reasons. Another are broad utilitarian. Another is ethical reasons. So actually, we can see this is easy. Narrow means small. Utilitarian means utility. What is the very less? If we are thinking in the narrow sense, if we are thinking in a narrow way, what will be the benefits that we are getting from the biodiversity? That is called as narrow utilitarian reasons. And those reasons which are broad, which we are thinking in the broad sense, those benefits are called as broad utilitarian benefits, or the reasons are called as broad utilitarian reasons, because of which we are conserving the biodiversity. Another are ethical reasons, I will explain. In the narrow utilitarian reasons, what are the narrow that most of the common people can think? Suppose we are getting the food like cereals, pulses, and fruits. These are the food that comes in the food. So we are getting from biodiversity, from the plants. So this is called as food that comes in the narrow utilitarian reasons. What are the other benefits? Suppose there are firewood. We are getting the firewood for the purpose of, in our homes we are using the firewood for the purpose of fire. Then what we are using, this was about the firewood. Then we are using for the construction of buildings, construction purpose. For the construction purpose also we are using what? We are using the biodiversity, that is plants. Other any more benefits are there? There are other benefits also. These are simple, that is food, firewood, and constructive material, and other like like industrial products. Industrial, for industries we are getting the industrial products. Industrial products are we are getting. Industrial products we are getting. Suppose in what are the industrial products? Tannins, resins. Tannins, resins we are getting from where? We are getting from biodiversity. And other, suppose perfumes, some perfumes also we are getting from the biodiversity. So actually, what are the other things in the narrow utilitarian uses, narrow utilitarian reason? So this was the simple thing that everyone knows, that is food, firewood, construction material, and industrial purposes. One of the main thing I want to tell here, that if we see that more than 25,000, more than, see, I will write here is space is less, I will write here more than 25, it is for this, more than 25,000 plant species, more than 25,000 plant species we are using for the medicinal purpose. Actually, there was the power cut off, so that is why it became a black. All the things got black here. What I told more than 25,000 plant species are once more. There was in second time also there was power cut off. Now I was explaining the narrow utilitarian reason. Narrow utilitarian reason means what are the reasons? Narrow thinking reasons for the purpose because of which we are conserving the biodiversity. I told these are the simple things, that is food, firewood, constructive material, industrial products, tannins, lubricants, perfumes, fiber material. This all is coming from the what? From the biodiversity. There are, if we go somehow upper level, in the narrow utilitarian reasons, there are 25,000 plants which are used for 25,000 plants which are used for the purpose of making traditional medicines. So do you know what are the traditional medicines? Most of we know Ayurvedic medicines. The Ayurvedic medicines are also what? Most of the Ayurvedic medicines, they are traditional medicines. Actually, by the benefit of these plants, we are going to know in the past years. Mostly, if we tell anything our old people in our home, what they will tell, they will definitely tell about some plants which will be benefit for the health, for to treat some disease. Similarly, because they are knowing, this is true also, they are knowing the medicinal value of plants. More than 25,000 species of plants are used for the formation of traditional medicines, that is Ayurvedic medications. Ayurvedic. And now I told about another thing. Anything more? Yes. There are more than 25% of species. One more thing is, this was here. Here I want to add more than 25% of species. 25% of plant species. More than 25% of plant species are used for the formation of medications. The medicines we are getting, the medicines we are using in the day-to-day life, the medicine is more than 20% of the medicines, more than 20, what I am saying here, I have told wrong, more than 25% of the drugs means medicines, more than 25% of the drugs that are being used, more than 25% of the drugs that are being used worldwide. More than 25% of the drugs that are being used worldwide we are getting from the plants. So if we see that in the whole world there are medications, there are drugs. In the drugs, 25% of the drugs are used for 25% of the drugs are used for the purpose of what? Treatment. For the purpose of treatment of humans. These worldwide, I am saying about, this is the worldwide, not in India. I am saying worldwide, 25% of the drugs we are getting from the plants. See, the fact is, two important points are there. One is this, another is 25,000 plant species are used for the formation of traditional medications. This was all about the narrow utilitarian reason. What are the broad utilitarian? If we think in the broad sense, what are the reasons because of which we should conserve biodiversity? See, in the broad utilitarian reasons, we are knowing 20% of O2 oxygen in the world is produced by the tropical rainforests. Tropical Amazonian rainforest. So think about, see how much beneficial, how much important the tropical Amazonian rainforest is. That 20% of the oxygen, 20% of the oxygen that we are getting, that is present in the atmosphere, 20% of the oxygen that is present in the atmosphere is coming from is produced by the tropical rainforests. Actually, I already told that tropical rainforests are called as the lungs of the earth. They are having the highest biodiversity on the earth. Tropical Amazon rainforest is an habitat. It is an ecological niche for thousands of species of plants and animals. So and I also told one more fact that today the tropical rainforest it was covering the 16% of the land, and nowadays it is covering 4.2% of the land. 4.2% of the land only, because of the destruction of the tropical rainforest, because of the encroachment of the human towards the forests, Amazon rainforest. So this was about the 20% of the oxygen. So this oxygen, if we are not having the oxygen, what will happen? This is also the use. Why biodiversity should be there? If we are not having the oxygen, there will be no respiration. There will be no cellular respiration. Well, then when there is no cellular respiration, there will be death of the person. And the fact is, in oxygen in our cells is used in the mitochondria of the cells. I already told, in the mitochondria, oxygen is used for the cellular respiration during electron transport chain. During the electron transport chain, the oxygen will take the electrons, the protons, and it will form what? It will form hydrogen, water molecule, H2O, hydrogen, water molecule. So it will form dihydrogen oxygen, that is the hydrogen water molecule. So hydrogen, and there are two, after the oxygen will may take electrons and protons, it will take some electrons and two protons, it will form H2O. Okay, so this is, if there is no oxygen, we will die. There will be no cellular respiration in all the organisms which are living on the biosphere. So this was all about the 20% oxygen. One more thing is there. What is that? Suppose if there is no pollination, if we are seeing, I will rough this here once. I hope you can note this, or you can take a screenshot. See here, I was telling about the broad utilitarian reasons. I told one is, in broad utilitarian, one is 20% of the oxygen is coming from the tropical Amazonian rainforest. So the oxygen is coming from the forests. So the main component of the oxygen is coming from the biodiversity. So the oxygen is helpful. It is important for our cellular respiration. Then this was the first point. The second point I want to say, that is if we see the pollination. The pollination in plants. Pollination means transfer of pollen grain from one plant species or from male flower towards the female flower. Within it can be same plant or it can be the different plant but of same species. That is called as pollination. So pollination is transfer of pollen grain from one flower towards another flower, or it can be within the same flower. There can be a male and female part, anther part, as well as female part, that is called a piston. Or from the pollen grains will come from stamen and they will reach to the piston. So there will be the fertilization within the ovary of the piston. So what will happen? That there will be the fertilization. So fertilization is only possible because of pollination. When there are many species of birds, that pollination is carried out by the many species of birds. That is carried out by the flies which are found in the bumblebees. The bees are there, some bumblebees, like bumblebees is there. They are used for the pollination. If there will be no bumblebee, no birds, no other animals, some amphibians are also used for the pollination. Amphibians are also used. Some animals, different types of animals and plants, different types of animals and birds are responsible for the pollination. If they will be not present, there will be no pollination. When there will be no pollination, there will be no formation of seed. We know in the ovary there will be the formation of ovary will convert into the seed, and inside the ovary there are ovules. Ovules will convert into the seed. Ovules will convert into seed. Ovary will convert into fruit. So there will be no seeds and no fruits. See how much importance is there when there is no pollination. How much if because that will be because of no, when there is no bird species, no flies, no bumblebees. When that will happen, what will happen? The seeds and fruits, the fruits will not be there. So there will be loss for us also. This was the second point that I told in the broad utilitarian reasons. One more point is there, that is aesthetic. In this there comes one more thing, that is aesthetic value. Aesthetic value. Aesthetic value means, see, aesthetic means in our day-to-day life also we are having aesthetic value of the biodiversity. How? Suppose when we are moving during the morning time, when the birds are singing, when the birds are making a sound at the early morning, how much beautiful it looks, how much we are feeling the peace in the mind. So this is aesthetic value. When birds are singing in the morning, suppose when we are running in the forest, when we are going inside the forest, we are feeling the peaceful environment. That is also the aesthetic value that we are getting the feeling. When we are seeing the flowers on the plants, we become happy. That is also the aesthetic value of the plants. So that is the aesthetic value of plants. That also comes in the broad utilitarian reasons. What are the ethical reasons? One more thing is that ethical reason. Ethical means the earth is not solely the property of humans. It is not the property of humans solely. There is every living organism has a right to live on the earth. This is called as ethical reason. That is the ethical reason for conserving biodiversity. So why should we conserve biodiversity? So we should conserve it because there are ethical reasons also. There are plant species, there are animal species, there are bees, there are birds, there are other animal species. So all the plants and animal species which are present on the earth, they all have right to live on the earth. They all have a right to live on the earth. So not only the humans should live on the earth, every living organism has the right to live on the earth. So that is called as ethical reason. So for that purpose we should conserve the biodiversity. We should not harm the other animals, other plants. So that is called as, this was all about the benefits of biodiversity. In the next lecture I will explain about what are the methods by which we should conserve the biodiversity, that is in situ and ex situ conservation. Thank you.